Horace Grant, the former ACC Player of the Year out of Clemson. One of the primary contributors for the Chicago Bulls in their championship year last year and in their outstanding record this year.
Bulls like the trap after made free throws, but Barkley's going to get a chance to push it up by himself as Pippen backpedals. He doesn't want to get that fourth personal foul.
Barkley thought about a three, instead drove to the hoop and got the roll. Barkley thought about that three. He's not a good three-point shooter, somewhere around 24%, but from the two-point range, he is the best all-time in the NBA, 61% on two-point field goals. Cartwright.
Finally get Cartwright a deuce, so now he's got 4 points in the ball game.
Gilliam on the low post against Grant, turns and faces the basket. Collision, shot, good.
Why do they call him the Hammer? Because in college he used to dish out that punishment on the way to scoring. Hasn't really been able to establish himself as a punishing offensive player in the pros.
Cartwright left open with a double team, can't connect. Barkley with the board. Almost lost the dribble, then fires a bullet to Gilliam.
That was a pass they wanted to make initially. Good things come for Barkley and the Sixers this afternoon. That one rolls in. They lead by 10.
That's their biggest lead. Pippen against Barkley. Michael. Cartwright missed a tap and a foul.
Personal fouls of Armin Gilliam.
Armin Gilliam, number 2.
You see a reaction from Gilliam. He's not happy as they've got the Bulls playing in areas right now that they're not really comfortable in, nor do they want to play. Gilliam trying to come over the top. That is the third team foul, second. Cartwright on the line. But what started that play was Pippen backing down against Barkley. That's a play and that type of play that he cannot command. They ended up getting Jordan rolling inside and then Cartwright the loose ball.
Cartwright misses 2. Back in 1981, he hit 19 for 19 at the free throw line against Kansas City, equaling an NBA record.
Cartwright used to be a great free throw shooter for a center, but with the foot injuries and an unorthodox style and some age, his percentage has come down dramatically.
Just 2 of 6 today.
Barkley wants a one-on-one against Scottie Pippen inside.
Pippen got a piece of it as it went toward the hoop. Michael in front court. Yes, and a foul.
Personal foul, Hersey Hawkins, his second, team fourth.
One that they didn't get is Barkley rolled in and tried to squeeze it underneath the arm of Scottie Pippen, and one that the Chicago Bulls got in on the sidelines. What Fred Carter and Jim Latimer saying, if you're going to foul him, grab him. Don't let him extend and get to the hoop. Now it's a three-point play.
Yeah, Hawkins just sort of had a half-hearted reach in, and Jordan made a three-point play out of it. Lead cut to 7. It was 10 just a moment ago.
But the pace of the game is in favor of the Philadelphia 76ers. It's a slow half-court game where they're breaking the defense down. Armon Gilliam over the top.
Dawkins with a penetration and the dish to the Hammer. And the lead back up to 9. Good game for Gilliam, 15. He's averaging 16 a game. Baseline jumper by Grant is no good. Rulon muscles it away. One gets the idea that Jeff Rulin's hard-nosed attitude, another reason why playing a lot of minutes. Hawkins couldn't hit it on the backdoor reverse, but Barkley steals. Blind pass and a bad one.
Magic Johnson lives, but he doesn't live on the East Coast.
Barkley threw it right to the most startled man in the house, Horace Grant. And Johnny Dawkins commits his second foul.
This is what happens when you get happy and you think everything is going your way. Let me have a no-look pass. And, of course, Francis, thank you very much. He's trying to really come up with something sensational and really try to break the spirits of the Bulls. If that play connects, then they feel it's their day. They're going to be able to control the rest of the third and fourth quarters of play.
Explain that to Jim Lynam.
It didn't happen, so now he's having a fit. With Pippen, you want to try to get to him before. Now they grab him. And these guys have gotten their communication just a hair off and a little bit late, but they do have control of the scoreboard and the pace of the game.
Pippen sinks two, and he has 13 points. 7-point advantage for Philly.
Wrong guy. You know, Rulin doesn't want that ball right there. Jordan knocks Hawkins away from the ball.
And that will be number 3 on Michael.
Jordan is very good at playing defense in the passing lane and with his hands, and he thought he could reach in there and make a play on the ball. Got a piece of the body of Hawkins.
What made it happen, really, was that Hawkins didn't leave any space between the pick, Rulin, and all Michael could do was reach in and commit the foul.
Now, this is when the Sixers' offense breaks down, is when they are forced to play one-on-one against the shot clock. The hammer against Horace Grant.
All the way, no good. Will Perdue on the floor for the Bulls with another rebound. He's got a couple of them today. There's Barkley guarding Jordan. He'll step to the line to shoot 2. Armin Gilliam trying to help out after Michael got past Charles, commits his third personal foul. 6:42 left in the third quarter. Philly trying to hold on to the lead. Back at the Spectrum, Percy Hawkins has scored 11 for the Sixers this afternoon. Some say he should be more aggressive on the offensive end. One of those that say that is his wife.
Well, basically, I think I was averaging about 19.5 points per game, and you know, they flashed it on the screen at the Spectrum, and I guess that was the first time my wife had really realized it. And you know, the next day, she said, "I know that you're averaging 19.5." And she said, "You know that can't be tolerated in this household." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You have to go out and score more. You have to go out and shoot more and be aggressive." And I said, "Okay, I guess if your wife is telling you it's time to pick it up, then it's really time to pick it up."
See, now, Hersey, you have to realize he has an excellent situation. Not only does he have a coach in Jeremy Lyman, but he has a coach at home. Now, you actually once coached him, didn't you?
I sure did. I had the pleasure of coaching Hersey in a local community league, and it was a lot of fun.
But, Jennifer, now what do you say to him when he comes on? What are the coaching points that you use?
I just told him to shoot the ball.
That's a good point. That's a good coaching point. Tom?
All right, Ahmad. Hersey missing on that drive. No respite for him even when he leaves the gym. The wife's on the case. Pippen gets a screen from Michael and finds Paxson. Bulls close within 4.
What the Philadelphia 76ers need to do is move the ball, move themselves quicker. Again, the same play. Perdue lets his man, and Barkley totally under control behind the back again, this time Charles Shackelford.
I think he watched that telestrator shot you had at halftime. That was a carbon copy behind the back for the easy 2. Charles Barkley with an assist. Perdue. Will Perdue muscles it through. Will Perdue, who breeds standard-bred horses, saddle-bred horses. Shackelford is fouled. We asked him yesterday if he had any big enough for him to ride without his feet touching the ground. The 7-footer says, yes, he does have one.
All right, as we go back and we look at Charles Barkley, again, he is down in the paint, and you'll see all of those red jerseys come, particularly Will Perdue. That leaves Shackelford on the weak side wide open, 2 hands above the rim. Shackelford gets that one. He beat Perdue back down. Perdue fouls him over the top, now on the line.
And now Charles Shackelford, who played in the Italian League last year and then signed for the Sixers and has drawn the brunt of a lot of criticism for the Sixers' poor play this season. Sometimes unfairly, Jim Lynam says, because he has been a consistent rebounder if other phases of his game have suffered.
Well, they expected more of him, but the one thing he does well is rebound the ball. He started the ball game, started the season injured. He's been slow in recovering. His offensive confidence has certainly slumped.
Paxson calling for an illegal defense call, but no whistle. And Purdue trying to post up, loses it to Shackelford. Barkley double teamed, out of bounds. Paxson hit it last. Turnovers held relatively in check today. 8 for the Bulls, 7 for the Sixers.
And that is what the Bulls really thrive on. Teams making mistakes and them being able to run out of those mistakes, particularly at their defensive end of the floor. Barkley in isolation. Looks at the clock, trying to break down Scottie Pippen.
And he split the double team. The score, Charles Barkley with 23. Jim Lynam telling us yesterday that taking care of the ball was the way to beat the Bulls. They had done it for the Sixers. Here's Grant for the slam after Michael drew the defense.
Penetration by Jordan and an easy 2 for Grant. And anytime you see penetration and ball movement, you see it going in the direction of the hoop. Good results for both teams.
Gilliam made a good fake and got free, then missed the shot. Shackelford pushed off to get the rebound.
This ball foul, Charles Shackelford, is second.
With Jordan's penetration, he draws 2 players, and there is Horace Grant with 2 hands over the top. Grant picks up a loose ball foul at the other end, and they'll come back to the line.
Shackelford committing a foul, number 2 on Charles. 4:12 remaining in the third quarter. Sixers at one point led by 10. Grant hits the free throw, and that cuts it to 4. He'll have another.
Grant is solid, and his field goal percentage really typifies a guy that gets a lot of high percentage stuff around in the paint, and he stays in there, gets 1 of 2.
Dawkins calls for the screen from Gilliam. Can't shake Paxson, so he shoots over it. It's only a second miss today. Shackelford scrapping for the ball. And they say white ball, Philly ball.
The white ball. Pippen had touched the ball while he was out of bounds. See the ball go up, and Pippen is there, and he will touch it right there. He's standing in the red.
Move it.
The guy that they need to get back in the game as they come into Shackelford.
Barkley is fouled as Shackelford missed right underneath. The Sixers a poor offensive rebounding team, but Barkley doing yeoman work on the offensive boards this afternoon. He has 3 offensive boards. As
Purdue, the ball is tipped down from Will Purdue to Charles Barkley. Barkley goes to the ground, but to finish the thought, Percy Hawkins, who had a neutralizing effort of Scottie Pippen in the first half of play, has not been able to get on track here in the third quarter. They need his offense.
Charles now with 25 points. He's hit 11 of 13 at the free throw line, and the lead is 6.
They got to switch, and Jordan, with 5 on the clock, goes against Barkley.
And a Philadelphia foul.
Johnny Dawkins, his third.
Johnny Dawkins, number 3 for the 70s.